Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. I am seriously starting to think there's something really wrong with me. I just found out something today. The name of the song is I Can't Stop by Punch Deck. Be unstoppable, be unbreakable, and be awesome. So what I found out today, I had to actually re-look at it because I thought I may have done it wrong. And it turns out I was right the first time. I don't get it. By the way, this is one of my favorite restaurants. This is the House of Thai in San Francisco on Geary and Larkin. And yes, that's my bike, and I was there today. So about 2 years ago, I did a Google from where I live to the Golden Gate Bridge and back, and I think it said like 12 miles or 14 miles. So I think I've been telling you guys I've been doing about 20 to 22 miles round trip, and it turns out I am way off. I'm doing 17.9 miles direct. That's if I could take the freeway, but I can't. So the bike paths will go as far as a mile out and then a mile back and then underneath the freeway, then around, and then it goes back off to the side again. So it's not a direct line. So it's much more than 17.9, so 18 miles one way. So it dawned on me, I am doing over 20 miles each way. That's 40 miles round trip. Now mind you, I'm on a fixie which has one big gear in the front, okay? Now I have it on the free wheel, not the fixie side, but still it's a really tough thing, and I have to go up the saucy little hill. Now I can't ride that bike because I don't have gears to shift down to easier gears, so on some parts I have to walk it up because it's just too tough. Now here's the other thing. I went over to the House of Thai, and then I went over to this young lady's house that I'm dating in San Francisco on Russian Hill. So I didn't even tell you that part. I go flying down California Street from Lombard, and then I go flying up it, and I pedal as fast as I can. And then what I do after that, I go over to Chestnut, and I go to Walgreens, and then I go to the coffee shop to get some reading done. So I'm doing this back and forth through the city, to the left, to the right, to the east, to the west. This is also adding more miles. So I did more than 40 miles round trip. So I'm starting to wonder, by the way, that this is the House of Thai, and that's my fixie bike. Let me add this in first before I mention what I wonder. I got run over by a car 16 years ago, which I'm sure you guys have heard by now, and I broke over 24 bones, tore my brain in 3 places. I have spinal injuries. I went to a chiropractor 2 years ago, and he looked at me, actually goes, "What happened to you? Did you get run over by a car or something?" And I looked at him and said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh," he goes, that makes sense. My spine is messed up. My neck is messed up. I'm in a lot of pain. Here's the other thing. I just had surgery. It's just under 9 weeks. In 2 days it'll be 9 weeks. So I'm going to physical therapy, and I'm not supposed to be riding my bike. So obviously the first 5 or 6 weeks I didn't do any riding after surgery because I was in massive pain like you would not believe. I'm still in pain, and that just makes it even kind of more crazy. I'm not supposed to be lifting weights or riding bikes till next month. Now here's the deal. On top of it, I've got a backpack with books in it because I read when I go into the city. I have got hoodies, I've got t-shirts, I've got glasses, I've got pens, I've got what else did I get? And then on top of it, I went to Walgreens and I bought a large mouthwash. I bought a bottle of a drink. I've got a protein shake in there. I've got all this liquid fluid and stuff in there. And so it's at least 20 plus pounds that I'm packing around on this thing. Oh, I knew there was another thing. I also bought this product from Sports Basement. I buy 10 of these little package things, and together they're probably about 2 pounds or more combined. So here's what I think is wrong with me. I think it's possible that I'm a superhero. I think at the age of 57, I think God wants me to race in the Tour de France. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense at this point in my life. Like, none of this makes sense to me. How is this physically possible? I'm riding up and down the hills of Sausalito, and there's a killer hill at the very end, and I mean killer. And then I'm riding up and down the hills of San Francisco. If you know anything about San Francisco, it is extremely hilly, and it goes way up, especially Russian Hill. Yeah, you gotta understand, I've had 7 surgeries. I've broken my leg. I've broken my fingers. I've done things that you couldn't imagine. And I'm 57 years old and I'm doing this stuff. I am telling you, you can be unbreakable, unstoppable, and awesome. You want to know how all this started? I got ran over by a car and I couldn't even walk from my front door to my living room glass sliding glass door. It took me almost, I would say, a year, maybe a year and a half, to be able to walk around the block. So I knew I had to push it. So I finally got this bike and I started to ride it. Well, I couldn't ride it very far at all. When I say not at all, I mean even years later. I'm talking 5 or 6 years later. I couldn't ride the bike more than 20 minutes away and back. That was maximum. This is me at the House of Thai after I rode over 20 miles and I stopped to get some Thai tea. So here's what you guys got to understand. If there's a message here, and here's the deal, I didn't originally post this to even have a message. I was just kind of like, Jesus, I can't believe it's 17.9 miles. That's a direct route, which I'm not taking. And I'm going over to someone's house, going up and down California Street, the hills in San Francisco, up Sausalito Hill, and then I'm going all the way to the west, all the way to the east, coffee shop, Walgreens, this, that. I'm doing way over 40. I did way over 40 miles today, and that's something I've been doing on a regular basis now. A long time ago, a couple people, a pastor was one of them, it was Pastor Rex, and there was a couple other people who said, Michael, you are the example. You are showing people that they can do a lot more than they ever imagined. And when I was a kid, when I started in boxing, I had no idea how far I was going to go. And I remember I couldn't even jog half a mile. I was just like, I couldn't do it. And it was persistence and persistence. So this bike journey, you have to understand, it really wasn't like, oh, I want to be able to ride bike 20 miles both ways. No, it was like, I can't even walk from my living room to the front door and back. And then it got to the point where I couldn't walk the length of the garage, but I kept doing it until I could do it. And then I did it 10 times, and then I'd say, okay, so now this was after like 4 months or something, maybe even longer. And then it's like, okay, now I'm going to see if I can walk to the corner of my block and back. And that was scary because I was all alone at nighttime, and if I didn't make it, I didn't have anyone to help me. So my point being is, like, you guys have no idea. So like I said, and eventually I got to the point where I wanted to ride my bike, and it was one step after another. And let me tell you one thing, even in boxing, when I was a little kid, when it came to jogging, I didn't know what I was doing. My first goal was to run a half a mile, and then I thought, well, what if I could do a mile? And then it was a mile. Now, it took a long time to get there. You guys got to understand, it wasn't just like, oh, the next day I did it. It took a long time to get there. And, I remember doing push-ups. I couldn't even do 10 push-ups. And then I was like, okay, my goal was to do 10. And then my next goal was to do 3 sets of 10. And then 3 sets of 12 and 15. And here's my point. You've got to build up. You've got to be consistent. The other thing you have to learn is about resting, taking time to rest to let your muscles heal. Now that also applies if you're starting a business. You gotta let your mind heal. You gotta let your mind rest and declutter. So you need to take time off, and that's one of the hardest things is, but I don't want to, you take time off and you rest so you balance yourself out. Your muscles get to heal and get build up and get stronger. Your mind gets to relax and integrate stuff, and that's literally what it will do. So here's the real thing. It was about a year and 5 months ago. I think it was last year, January. I don't know if it was a year before that, but I think it was last year, January. Just before that, I don't remember how many months before that, but I thought, man, what if I could go from here to the Golden Gate Bridge and back? That was like, because I think that's about 12 or 14 miles. I forget what that is. It's like 12 miles each way or 14 or something. And I remember the first time I did it, I was exhausted. I was drenched. Now you can understand, this is after about 12 plus years of riding my bike and just trying, and something clicked in. My testosterone kicked in from the accident because my testosterone was really low. And no, I never got any help from the doctors. And that's the thing. I got no help from anyone at all, even from the very beginning. So here is what I'm trying to say. When I set that goal to go to the Golden Gate Bridge and back, that was a big goal at the time because I wasn't even doing a third of that at the time. But I got to the point where I could ride. The Richmond Bridge is right here in San Rafael, so it's not that far away from me, even with a bicycle. To get to the bridge is probably 12 minutes or something like that. But it goes up and up and up, and it's kind of hard, and I couldn't even get to the top for the longest time. Now, you gotta understand, I've been riding my bike. This is about 10 years after the accident. And I have to say something, at this point in all the work I'd put in, it was pretty heartbreaking because it really wasn't that far at all. It just felt like all that effort, it barely even made a difference. All I know is something happened a little over a year and a half ago. I just locked in. And I said, I'm going to ride from here to the Golden Gate Bridge and back, whether it fucking kills me or not. So here's my point. You'll hear it from Tony Robbins. You'll hear it from a lot of people. When you set a goal, and here's what it was not only a challenge, it was an adventure. For me, that's what made the difference. It was like, there was something about doing this. It was scary because I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to make it, especially on a bike without any gears. But I tell you what, it was worth it. And here's what happened. It got me excited. That's what it is. That's what you need to look for. Some goal that's so big that it gets you pumped up that you have to do it. And I don't know what happened, but something clicked in, locked in, and I've been doing it twice a week ever since. And I go a little further, and a little further. Here's the deal. I rode 20 miles non-stop like it was nothing. I went to the Thai house. I made a video. I'm gonna play that video live with the audio and all by itself. And you're gonna be like, you look like you didn't even ride. Yeah, it looks like I didn't even ride up and down those damn hills. Here's the deal. The wind today going across the bridge and going through Sausalito, it's in Mill Valley, was not easy. It was 20 plus miles an hour against me. I'm a bona fide badass again, and I'm dead serious. I'm not even kidding. I'm in freaking shape now. And I'm going to push it even further. That's the message. Keep pushing it. Start with 1 inch, then go for 1.5 inches, then go for 2. And once you get comfortable with that level, push it a little bit more. Keep pushing it. 1 step, 1 inch at a time. You can do anything that you want to. You just have to lock in. If you think this video is about me, you're dead wrong. This video is about you. Just start. Get moving. Start with what you have right now, with exactly where you're at right now. Don't wait to get a better education. Don't wait to get a better computer. Don't wait to anything. Start with what you have, with where you're at exactly right now. Just move. Become a psycho. Do whatever it takes. Read that book 5 times, restudy it, read another one, do an online course, take a college class, take 2. If you can only take 1, take 1. If you literally can only read for 20 minutes a day, read that 20 minutes. If you take the bus, read on the bus. Make it happen. No excuses. Do the impossible. Make the impossible possible. Lock in and go psycho. Focus on it. Make it happen. Yes, you can. Go to MikeKollin.com.